Hi everyone, it's Gina with Peonies of America. Hope everyone is doing good. I'm going to be doing a walkthrough through my peony garden. It's the first year peonies, and it's in my cutting garden, the ones that I had videos on earlier. So I'm going to walk through and show you the growth of those and what first year peonies look like and how they're doing. And these will be in-ground peonies. The video that I put up just recently, those were in above ground boxes, and I will do another video on how those look in about a week because they are really growing and a lot of them have buds on them already. So we'll do another video on those here in a few days. But I've got my bone meal that I always use and my handy dandy shovel and my scraper, but I'm going to show you what my ranunculus look like here. These are the ones that were in ground during the freeze, and I actually had some that survived, so let me show you what they look like. Okay, it is quite windy out already, so I'm going to go through this pretty quick, but this was the bed of ranunculus and anemones that I had covered with just the agribon, that's it, and I had doubled it, and the temperatures got as cold as -20 wind chill, and I was so afraid to unwrap it, and I didn't know if they survived or not, but they did. And so in ground planting makes a huge difference compared to above ground boxes. I lost all of my ranunculus in every above ground box that I had, even with double layers, triple layers of straw, the agribon, plastic, did not make it, but the in-ground did with just a very minor minimum covering. And of course I've got the salmon and the champagne ranunculus in this bed and the dark purple anemones. And here's one of the but they're just buds everywhere if you can see them all. So excited. These were going to go with the Coral Charm peonies, and I have some peonies coming up here. This is a little bit later variety. This is usually the ones that come up the latest, so they're just getting started, but it should be a beautiful garden display. I apologize for that. Some of the peonies out here in this cutting garden in the ground, I just quickly wanted to show you some of the buds that are already starting to form on these first year plants out here. Not all of them are that way because there's many different varieties out here. Some of them are still just coming up. That is a mid-season. There's early, mid, and late varieties, and what I mean by that is we have a peony season. It's about 2 months long, and you can get pick varieties that come up through those 2 months, so you have flowers. You can enjoy the whole peony season instead of just picking one type of variety. That way you can have, you know, your flowers during the whole time. This one here, again, is got a great bud on it. This one here is a big, beautiful, bushy plant, but I don't see any buds, which is normal for a first-year plant. Here's another one with a really nice bud on it. And again, some of them are just coming out of the ground. So that is a later variety. Along with this is a later variety. Here I've got some that are really growing along, doing really well. There's a tiny bud right there. So I might get a few flowers out of these first year, but I will enjoy seeing them come up. Really beautiful plants. Oh, that bud is very large. And I will be planting the lavender in between, kind of staggering it along in all these peony plants. And so I'm going to get started. Okay, and I wanted to show you on the lavender that I will be planting out in the cutting field out there so you can get an idea. This lavender I have soaking in a bucket of water. And you can, I don't know if you can even see the water, but these are bare roots. And it's a good thing to go ahead and hydrate them. And I have 8 of them hydrating here that I'm going to be putting out with the peonies. So I'm going to go out there and start on that. These here are a 5-year-old plant. These are Mother's Choice, and they are quite large. I do use landscape fabric just to keep the weeds down. But when you use landscape fabric, always remember each year come out and check to make sure you're not having the eyes getting suffocated down in the fabric. I have to cut this fabric each year. See, this eye is way over here, and here's the original. So the bare root, it grows underground each year. That's what it does in the winter. So you want to make sure, if you're using landscape fabric again, that you come out each year and you check to make sure you're not covering up an eye. And what I do is I just barely kind of dig down in there, move some of the leaves, and just kind of look around. Just be real gentle. And I think I'm okay, but I've already cut this out this year. But these are Mother's Choice, and they are an early to mid variety for me here. They're all covered in buds. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stems. This one here is quite large also, coming up. And these are in ground. They have been in the ground for 5 years. So, and that's why they're a little bit farther along. This one here is just kind of behind a little bit, but it'll catch up. So I'll have a lot of time to enjoy. Here I just pulled up the landscape fabric because they were growing. I was finding eyes kind of stretching out. So I went ahead and just pulled up that landscape fabric.